Hi, I'm Anusha Agnor from PQI, and today you're watching a PQI Profiles show in which we get to know our members. So today I'm joined by Jianan Lee, who is from Physics Department at Pitt. So currently he is a final year student in Professor Jeremy's lab, working in the area of quantum transport. Jianan, welcome to our program.
Thank you.
And firstly, congratulations on winning the GSR Award at Science in 2017. So, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty glad to learn that I got this chance to apply for this scholarship and actually got it in the end. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about it actually.
That's nice. So, Jianan, we would like to know more about yourself, where you grew up, and a little more about your background.
Okay, so my hometown is in China, and I went to college in Hong Kong for 4 years. And before I came here, I actually had a gap year in Hong Kong, and came to University of Pittsburgh in 2012.
Okay.
So this is my sixth year of PhD program here.
Okay, so you did your undergrad in Hong Kong, right?
Yes.
So, in which major was it?
I was in applied physics.
What do you like most about your applied physics, which you did in your undergrad?
The part I really like in my undergrad was the research with my professors. So we had three projects actually in the summertime. First one was on statistical mechanics, and the
Okay.
second one was on biophysics and optics, which was pretty fun because that's what's on the um, fluorescent protein, which was the Nobel Prize winning thing at the year. So the last one was on the quantum dots, and that's also about optics. So all these three projects were pretty fun at the time.
Okay, I'm sure that's probably what motivated you to come for PhD. So,
That's true.
we would like to know more about your research and what motivated you to go for quantum transport.
My research right now in Pitt is mostly on condensed matter, quantum transport in graphene and oxide interface. So these two are both very fascinating system, and it's dragging a lot of attention ever since the discovery of graphene, about 10 years ago. And people found more like interesting 2D systems, and our job is to combine these two because they're two very interesting individual systems, and we're trying to see if we combine them, what kind of new physics can we see from this kind of interaction between these two systems.
Okay, so I know that graphene is a conducting material.
Yes.
So, what are the major applications that your research focuses on?
My research, because in graphene we know it's very clean, it's very good for quantum mechanics, good for low temperature experiments. So, but there's still a lot of things that we don't know about graphene yet. So our job is to combine these two systems and see if we can see anything new in that, and also maybe some unknown properties of graphene can be found in that system.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So you're in your final year of PhD,
Yes,
right?
sure.
How, I mean, can you like talk about the progress of the work that you did, or like did you get to accomplish anything in your research?
Yeah, we did see some progress in the past few years. And so I actually had a chance to present in the APS March meeting for 3 times. So
Okay.
about my work, which is a great chance for to show my work to the world actually.
So what, how do you consider yourself as a physicist? Like, do you do more of computational or experimental or theoretical work? So what's your research mostly like?
My research is mostly experimental work. So my lab is actually focusing on experiments. And we do have some simulation and calculation, but those are just like side projects sometimes, but mostly we're focusing on the experiments.
Okay. I'm sure like being a PhD student, you would like encounter a lot of challenges because, you expect certain things not to work
Yeah,
all
it's
the
true.
time. So is there any specific challenge that you would like to tell us, especially when your research is concerned?
Yes, absolutely. So graphene, we know it's a very delicate, fragile system, although it's very clean. So we actually had a pretty hard time trying to handle them. So there are like a lot of tricks that we can make good samples or devices without breaking it.
Okay.
And we actually had yeah, had a lot of failures on that actually. But yeah, I think we're on the right track right now.
So do you also like collaborate with different industries in America?
Industry, not quite. Our collaboration is mostly among different labs and different PIs in UPIT and also some other universities.
Okay, so you're originally from China,
Yes.
right? So what do you like mostly about PIT? And well, I am an international student from India. I do see differences in curriculum when I came to US initially.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you would like to talk about the academics in China and also in America?
Yeah, sure. So I can see the curriculum in, at least for the undergrads, is pretty different from China, I think.
Okay.
So yeah, I learned that those undergrads, the undergrad student in Pitt don't have to decide their concentration until like the junior or senior year, I think. So, but yeah, that's pretty different from China. So before we go to college in China, we have to decide what concentration we're gonna focus on.
Oh, right.
Yeah, in the
I mean,
future
that
4
was
years.
the same for me as
Right.
well. You need to choose your concentration before you go into undergrad.
Yeah.
So, what was your major challenge when you first came to America? You know, is it your first time overseas experience?
Yeah, sort of. Yeah, living long term is definitely the first time
Right.
from the U.S. Yeah.
So you have been living in Pittsburgh for 6 years. So
Yes.
what do you appreciate most about Pittsburgh as a city?
Pittsburgh is pretty nice place actually. So actually, before I came to Pittsburgh, I have that sort of stereotype of U.S. cities. They said like only the major cities are interesting, and all those
Right.
other places are kind of boring. But Pittsburgh is definitely not one of those places. Pittsburgh is pretty cool, and we have our own ballet, orchestra, and opera. So they're like shows, concerts all year round, and you never get bored. So.
Okay. So how do you describe your experience at Pitt, given that you spent 6 years of your PhD here?
I really enjoy my experience in Pitt actually. Yeah, my research, although there definitely a lot of problems I see in the middle, but overall it's pretty satisfying and happy experience, I would say.
That's nice. So you said you are an experimental physicist,
Yes.
right? So where do you see yourself few years down the lane? I mean, I would like to know your long-term goals. Are you preparing yourself for an industry, or do you still want to continue in academia? So what's your plan basically?
So because I'm in my last year, so I'm actually preparing for both.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm looking for postdoc right now for mostly condensed matter research, and also I'm trying to find chance in industry as well as a data scientist.
Oh, okay. So what do you do for recreation? I'm sure being a grad student, you don't get a lot of time. But what do you do in your spare time generally?
I like traveling actually.
Oh,
So
okay.
especially like international travel, so to
Okay.
other countries and other places and see the culture and see the different scenery. So yeah, I kinda
Well,
like that.
I can say that I'm on very similar lines with
Right.
you. I
That's
like
great.
really I mean, like I like
Yeah,
traveling a
traveling.
lot.
That's great.
So, what all countries have you been to?
Last time I went to, about 2 years ago, into Peru. So Machu
South
Picchu.
America?
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that was really fascinating.
Okay,
But
so
it's-
was it just for travel or did
It's
you?
just for travel. Yeah. So-
That's interesting. So, Jianan, like, do you have any inspiration from your childhood? Like, do you have any role models, or do you take inspiration from people? It could be in general, so it doesn't have to be related to your research.
Mm, I would say I have been. Um, um, so I think talking about role model, I can say Richard Feynman is my
Okay.
role model,
Okay.
and because I really like that kind of physicists are really serious about the research, but also doesn't lose the curiosity for the world. So yeah,
Okay.
I'm really trying to be that kind of person.
Well, he is one of my role models too.
Alright.
So I would also like to know your experience with PQI, and if possible, can you also like give advice to students who plan to apply for GSR awards?
Yeah, my experience with PQI is it's pretty good actually. So because I had collaborators from PQI, professors from Pitt and other universities, and we actually doing several projects together. And as for the advice for future students, I would say PQI is a great chance to know people, like know new friends. in the same area and outside of your research area. And also it's a chance to know like other professors as well, because I actually found 3 of my research committee member from the PQI. So
GNN, I really enjoyed interviewing you today, and I'm so glad to have you here today. Thank you so much for being on our program, and thank you so much for watching our interview today.